We're continuing with Marc Silber as he looks through more community images and gives his thoughts on them.
Anderson Santana. He got it in Zurich, I believe he said. And I asked him because I was really curious, was this a shot that you planned to do or you came upon it and then took the photo?
I love this image, and it's a photo within a photo. You've got layers here. You know, you've got just kind of the rhino by himself. There, you've got the train moving. And I've done that. I've used that effect. Trains are great because they're easy to get that blur. And then you have the blur of the person. So you have an image over here, kind of framed with the tree. That could be an interesting image by itself. Then we have, the rhino sitting out there. It works really well. This is a great image. I love the lines. We've got a diagonal line going on here, which adds to the motion and the blurring, which is what we were talking about just a minute ago. So, well done. That's bravo. I mean, you did a great job. You nailed it.
And someone else pointed out how cool it is that you can see the name of the store behind the
Oh,
train
look
too.
at that. There's
Like how
another
clearly.
frame within a frame, even. You're right. I hadn't even seen the reflection on the window. That's pretty tricky because the train is moving.
Oh yeah, and then there's this reflection right
Yeah,
there.
the train
Yeah,
is moving, but we have a still reflection. I don't even know how that worked, but that's great. That's
yeah,
kind of a
it's
trick.
great, great image, and I think it's fantastic. It shows once again you got to be really good with your equipment and your knowledge on composition because he just came upon
Yeah,
this.
you got to be
He
fast.
saw the train going by, and if he hadn't been fast enough, he probably wouldn't have got this person in the image either.
That's right.
So.
Good job. Oh,
All right. Here's a really interesting one. This is from Glenn, who last week we had looked at one of his drone shots. And so he posted another drone shot. This
oh
was
yeah, look at that.
photographed.
I never would have guessed
Um,
this is a drone shot. I would have thought it was
yep.
caterpillars or something.
The original caption that he posted last year when he posted this was, "I'll let you guess what this
This is
is."
cool. I get it. And this is probably off that same area where fireball where you were on the other one. This is clever. And drone photography can be so amazing with stills because how else would you ever get this? It's just a clever image, and it's a slice of life from a whole different angle, and I'm a what we're seeing here, you guys, so far today is you're taking pictures of life around you. Our new phrase here at AYP is capture life, and you're doing that. So this is cool, and this is from a whole, obviously, completely different angle. So well done. That works great.
All right. Our next one is from Andrew Whitecomb over in England.
Wow, look at that. Um, cool picture. Um, eyes. Okay, so this is really important. Make sure the eyes are in focus, sharp focus. You have the focus right here on the doll or the stuffed animal. But we love, we connect with people through their eyes. Bob Holmes has said this. A number of different photographers we've had on the show always check the focus on your eyes. So because we're just, as humans, we're connecting through the eyes, and if they're a little out of focus, it creates a little distance there. So what happens is my focus goes over here to the stuffed animal, and I see the child, but since those eyes aren't sharp, I can't quite connect. But otherwise, it's a gorgeous image. Just check that focus. It's really important. Jared knows when we're on a shoot,
Hmm.
we're checking that eye focus. I mean, we go into 5x, 10x enlargement and really pull it up because you really just don't want a person's eyes out of focus. You want to make sure they're right in there. And Bob Holmes mentioned that as well. A lot of people. Yeah, the catch light is really good, and that's really cool because you've got a cool catch light right here in this eye. So that's all. Just check your focus. Otherwise, it's perfect.
Said Andrew just commented, I used a single point focus on the eye. Guess it was out of alignment.
Yeah, you just have to watch that, and sometimes you just got to manually focus to make sure you got it. And
Yeah.
again, do your zooming in, because you just want to watch it. By the way, that is a point of using autofocus, is just make sure it's doing what you want it to do. The very first interview that I did with Chase Jarvis, I'll just tell you the story. The first interview I did with Chase Jarvis when I was starting Advancing Your Photography, I hired a guy to do the shoot. I lined up, and Chase Jarvis was even then a pretty big name, and he was like my very first guest. So I lined up this beautiful shoot in San Francisco. We went there and shot it, and I knew nothing, zero, this much about video production. So I was clueless, and I was doing a great interview, I thought. We got back, and a day or two went by, and I asked him how it looked, and he said, "Hey, the B-roll looks great." Uh-oh, red flag. What does that mean? Well, I used autofocus, and unfortunately it focused behind you guys on the bushes. That was the end of that relationship with that videographer. And Chase very graciously invited me up to his studio, and we reshot the whole thing. And that's the interview you see today. So don't rely on autofocus is the message here. I use autofocus all the time, but look, it's like anything automatic. You better check it and make sure it's doing what you want it to do. Okay.
All right. Our next one is from our friend Fernando. And he took this one doing a session for a local professional clown. After the last shot, he sat down on a stool, and I asked him, "How do you feel when the show is over?" And then he took this as he wiped the sweat off of his face.
That's a very cool story. And it shows what you're doing is being in communication with your subject. And remember, photography is a communication medium. It's all about communicating. The photograph has to communicate. You have to be communicating to your subject. In this case, you are. And because it's very real, it shows, and it comes right across in that image. That's a brilliant image. Well done. And you've got the expression. It's like a clown who's kind of bummed out, which is a contrast, right? So you're showing contrast right there, which is a very powerful composition technique. And also the tilt of the head. There's just many things about this that work really well. So well done.
But I think I can do your last name, my pal. And no caption with this one.
There's an emotion going on here. And that's my first thought is this brother picking on the little daughter, the little sister? It appears to be so. She's freaking out, it looks like, or about to, crying. And maybe he's trying to calm her down, but I don't get that. I get in his body language that he's a little irritated with her. And it's what you're showing. It's what you're portraying. Remember, emotion in an image is what makes a photograph. So we have a whole range of emotions. Ask me sometime, and I'll tell you about this magical tool that actually shows you an entire scale of emotions from the very top to the very bottom. But if you think about an emotional scale, you have all those keys that you can play. You have all those emotions. And this is one thing as photographers, let's not get stuck in one set of keys. If you just played the same chord over and over again, dun, 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 even if you played dun, 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 Beethoven's Fifth, right? Dun, 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 dun. It would, after a while, you want to hear the rest of the symphony. What I like about this is you're playing some emotions. You're showing us these different emotions, and that's really important. That's really powerful. So step out of your comfort zone too. This photographer did, Nemi did. Be willing to get in there where there is strong emotion
We hope that you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a like and leave a comment. We love to hear from you. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you can know when all of our future videos come out. And finally, be sure to get out there and capture your own images of life.